All right, we're back. And yes, we found the spacer we need to finish the preload on that big Bud Clark axle. We were having issues because we ran out of threads, it turns out. We were surprised, but we want to make sure we do it right. So we got a spacer, we're gonna run that nut up tight, we're gonna get the preload set correctly, get that axle where it should be, put it back together again, get the wheels on it, and get that big old tractor out here so we can get something else in here and keep going. And also today's video is brought to you by AG1. We'll talk about that soon. But let's get that axle put together. All right, so here's how we're sitting. Determined we need a spacer. Something to go in between the nut so when it pushes, the nut doesn't run out of threads like it was doing and can get this tighter than it was. We didn't have anything in the shop. That was a 4-inch inner diameter. And the lathe is currently down because we haven't wired in the rotary phase converter yet. So we called around, found a machine shop, and they have a number of these on their shelf. So like I'm going to go get them. This is the locking washer, whatever you call it, that goes between the two nuts, and you bend the tabs over, and that keeps the nuts from turning. This one's pretty abused, already got a couple of teeth missing on it. You don't really want to keep bending these over. At some point you got to change them out. So we're getting new ones for that, and we're going to use the old one, which is this one. I already cut the keyway notch off. That goes over that slot right there, and we're just going to use this as our spacer. Isn't that great? So we'll put the nut on that. That little bit, it's not much, that little bit should give us the distance we need to be able to run this nut in a little tighter so we can set the preload how it should be, because it just wasn't enough. We could tell just by feeling it, it just wasn't sufficient. So this is good. There we go. So let's tighten this up. Let's try the preload again. See if we can get this thing tight so it hardly turns. And then we'll get to the point where we can kind of figure out exactly how much load should be on this instead of moving easily like that. All right, so I've got it set at 200 foot-pounds. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten this down until we click it. Getting there, just about to click. Oh. Okay, let's test it. How's this feel? Definitely needs more. Still pretty easy, real easy. So let's go up to 300. 300 foot-pounds, see what that does. See if this theory of the spacer was correct. Oh yeah, don't ask, kids. That's still pretty loose. We might have to run that up a lot more. I just cranked her up to 600 foot-pounds, and it's now feeling where it probably should be, real close to that area. Yeah, if you were to hang 90 pounds, take a rope wrap around it and hang 90 pounds here, would it turn that right now? Probably barely, so we're in the ballpark. So now the question is, we back the nut off a little bit. I probably should back it off and then retorque it again, just to help those roller bearings have a chance to fully seat. You definitely do not want slop in this. It needs to be tight to a human. It's not a car wheel bearing or trailer wheel bearing. This is, you're talking thousands of pounds and insane amount of torque leveraging on the duals going through the fields with this thing. Well, waiting for leg arms to come back to help out with the finishing set and the preload. We've kind of been talking about doing this to this wall. So this is the old fiberglass batting for insulation that's been in the shop since it was built. And it isn't necessary here because it goes to nothing on this wall. This is all insulated. So it is nice for sound dampening, but it's sort of getting tore up and kind of showing its age and sort of an eyesore. So I think what I'm gonna do is take the razor, run it along this, pull all those off, and then we'll just have the gray white metal underneath from the original siding of the shop, and we can paint it or do something with that later. But I just kind of still getting motivated here, so let's just be destructive for a little bit. There's all of our new lock washers. I'm gonna call it a lock washer, it's not a lock washer. So we're gonna find out how much torque does it take to turn this thing. So you're having to do more than what that's set at.
It's just a little bit.
What's that set at?
So it's saying that's actually a little over 70 pounds.
You're doing more.
No, I'm doing less.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Seeing what
it actually clicks at.
Yeah, we're about
50 pounds.
We're about 65 pounds.
Well, I don't know. We tried even putting 2 washers on here to see if we run out of threads again. They didn't really seem to fix it, so we took one off, left 1 washer on there, and I got it. It's pretty good. We hung this almost 100-pound plate off the end of the rope. It still turned it, so it's probably between 60 and 70 pounds hanging off the end of this thing. So I think we're just gonna call it there. Put her back together again. I'd rather have it tighter than looser, and with a breaker bar and nut. I mean, I'm hanging off the end of it, so if that's as tight as we're gonna get it, that's as tight as we're gonna get it. So we'll call it good. I think it's probably better than the way it was. Okay. Got the lock washer on. Lock washer, I know, there's another term for it. Bending the tabs over 2 on that side on the inside nut. Just tighten this nut down pretty tight. Now I'm gonna pull the tabs around facing me on this side. So this nut is locked into that nut, which has the keyway slot locked into, so all that nut there cannot come apart. Just a quick wipe down. Planetaries are about ready to go in. Got sealant around the whole face of this. This does have an O-ring, but it's original and it's probably shrunk, so best to put some engine sealant, gear oil sealant, whatever, cover. A little extra insurance. These planetaries are pretty cool how it works, isn't it? So that's why your reduction is so drastic. I think these are 24-to-1 reduction. So by the time that drive shaft goes into the ring and pinion, it gets reduced. Then it comes out here and gets reduced again a bunch into these planetaries. And whoever designed this, the universal, the planetary, it's pretty ingenious. I mean, really, it's very simple, but yet it's kind of a brain twister when you think about how it works. It's because like this locks solid to the hub, and that turns, but this does not. And yet the axle shaft's turning, which turns these gears, which turn this, which then pulls against this ring gear that doesn't turn, which then drives this to turn this, and then your wheel attaches. It's pretty amazing. And it's been this way for 100 years or more.
Not too much.
Line it up. Hang on. So this part's tricky. He's got to get the planetaries to spline into the sun gear, and it looks as if we're still high.
So you need to adjust.
Then it goes down a little bit. Oh, I see. There's that cord here. Like that. There we go. All right, we can get some nuts on now. We're all buttoned up, ready for some tires. So I didn't quite top off the wheel all the way. Obviously, my fill port needs to be halfway, so I can't rotate the tires until we start this thing up. So he's grabbing the skid steer. He's going to grab a tire. We'll get one on it, straighten this thing out, back it up a little bit. We'll probably won't put the other dual on it yet because we got more work to do to this tractor, and it means lifting the cab. So that's the next project. But we get one on there at least, straighten it out. I'll get it lined up, and then I'll start putting oil and finish topping off the areas. And hopefully no leaks will be done for a while. 10,000 hours. I hope it goes that long. That'd be sweet. It's time for a quick break, so let's jump in the office and talk about today's video sponsor, which is AG1. AG1 Next Gen is a daily health drink that is clinically shown to support gut health and fill in common nutrient gaps. Consisting of over 75 ingredients plus 5 probiotic strains that helps eliminate the need for a daily multivitamin and probiotics. I live a pretty busy lifestyle between 5 kids and the farm and a lot of stuff in between. it's taxing on the body, and it's just nice knowing that I can support my immune system, my gut, my overall health with something along the way daily and a quick drink like this. I appreciate the simplicity of this supplement. It's simple to just go take the container out of the fridge, grab 1 scoop, put it in your shaker, add a couple drops of D3, K2, or if for some reason you're not around your office, you don't have a fridge nearby, you can always grab your to-go packets. Same thing, just a bottle of water, drop one of these in there, and you're good to go. In the wintertime, your immune system takes a beating between everyone being indoors and the lack of vitamin D, sunlight. It's nice to support your immune system for things like probiotics, antioxidants, and functional mushrooms like what AG1 has. AG1 is NSF Sports certified, which means it's rigorously tested for hundreds of contaminants and impurities to bring the purest form to you. At less than $3 a day, you can avoid the need for multivitamin, probiotics, and more, and you can edit, revise, or cancel your membership at any time. I do enjoy the taste. So head over to drinkag1.com/welkerfarms or scan the QR code to get 3 free AG1 travel packs plus 3 free AGZ travel packs of vitamin D3 plus K2 and a welcome kit from AG1 with your first order. And again, thank you AG1 for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to work. All right, we're on. I gotta grab a breaker bar. Well, I should say a torque wrench. I don't have the specs, but properly torque these. I just didn't run them 100% with the impact. I put it on 3rd setting, so it ran them up pretty tight, but they could use a little bit more before we put the dual on that. Otherwise, we're under our own weight now, no jacks under it, so we can straighten this tractor out, back it up, and get ready to start the next job under the cab. It's a mess, and it's been long overdue, and thankfully we got parts to fix it. It's gonna be great, because this thing likes to pee a little bit every time it sits. Nice puddle, right in the center. There we go. I can finish topping that off. Tractor's in place. Now we can lift the cab and get to business on what's underneath there. All right, into the belly of the beast. Safety lock is on. Got the tooth there. Yep, we're good. So here's where our leak is happening. You can see this is gonna be fun to do. We'll probably take that pump off. I think just that one. But between your torque converter and your twin disc transmission, you got this drive shaft, and it's a couple universal joints, which we're gonna change out while we have this apart, because if they happen to go out, whack, 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 and all your pumps are gone. You could have a $12,000 accident right there with just that going out. So we'll change that, but what's leaking, see all that wet right there on top of that? We're pretty sure the seal's gone out on that output shaft, the torque converter. The thing is, when that goes out, the reason it goes out is because the splines on that shaft there are wore out, and it moves and takes the seal out. So our buddy Dusty, who's got a bunch of cool big buds, he had a couple custom made new pieces they don't make anymore, but he had them made and he had a couple on the shelf. So we bought one from him with the seal, so we'll be able to change that out. So that's how we're gonna be getting to. And then anything else under here that might need addressed while we're under here, we'll take a look at, but that is where it has just been puking oil on the ground. Gets all over everything underneath, just a mess. So we're gonna get that fixed. And you know what? The moment we fix a leak, another one will show itself. That's okay, that's okay. That's just the fun owning this white tractor. Just so you guys know, for all you that want white tractors like this. No, not white, the brand, Big Buds. Actually, all tractors leak oil. When you get about that 40, 50-year-old mark, it starts getting a little more prevalent. All right. I kind of wonder if this is what's been leaking. This seal right here. It looks like it's been, oh yeah, that seal's been, either someone put right stuff on it or some type of sealer, or the seal's all chewed up. But it looks like the oil is really wet on the underside. I think this is the transmission pump, so this pumps pressure in the transmission, but it seemed really wet on the downside there. So either it's just splashing oil around, or the gasket on this just needs replaced. O-ring, I mean. But we'll keep going down in here. I'll hold you guys after I clean my hands up here. All right, let's take a look here.
can see what I mean. Now I just pulled it off. Obviously it dumped a little bit of oil out, but it just, all that goop there, it looked really wet right underneath that pump. That's the seal down there that we were talking about replacing, is on this shaft, this drive shaft here. So I don't know, did a little more investigating, but that could have been a leaky culprit. Might have just been a simple O-ring. We still probably will replace this seal though while we're in here, as well as universals in that unit, because like I said, bad day if that come apart. Look how close that is to those pumps. Isn't that amazing? Oh, they pack it in there. Absolutely amazing. He's got a bar on there, you can see that.
I'm barely doing it.
Yeah, I'm going to hold the camera steady. See that yoke wiggle? See how the splines on the yoke are wearing out? Oh yeah, it's loose inside there. Okay, that seal's bad probably.
Well, it could have been a combination of that top O-ring.
So that might have been leaking in that, but yeah, that needs changed. Just slowly going around, turning this, taking out the bolts so we can get this whole unit out of here. It freely spins, which is nice, but I just got to put a bar in it to hold it straight so I can get a wrench on it. But not bad so far, not bad. Oh yeah, look how loose that thing is. Oh boy. Not good. We'll get this fixed.
Well, before I could grab the camera, it fell straight down. So it's on the ground. Now I'm just going to clean all the goo off this. And then I think that yoke can come right out, but I got to take off all those bolts around the outside seal holder here. And actually, I think that might be a bearing holder. And then clean that up. So I'm just going to keep cleaning, see if I can get this apart. There's the piece. That's the splines that are, they don't look it, but they're wearing out. So I'll take this out. Yeah, a little bit of metal residue in that. Not much, but that's amazing. It is a bigger net. Maybe it is a 15/16. Yeah, it is a 15/16. Okay. Will it fit? Oh yes, thankfully. There we go. There's more of it. That stuff that's worn out. Those pieces. And that, I don't think we take this one out. That stays in there. And then the seal's got to come out right there. I decided to leave this cover on. It's, I think it's holding the bearing on the other side, so we don't need to take that off. But what I'm going to do is self-tapping screws. Leg Arms recommended this. And we'll just slightly run it into the seal, and then I'll use some tools to pop that seal out. So we can put a new one in it. Oh, this is not easy to do like this. There we go. I got a hammer here. I don't know if I'll get this in there. I'm going to try to use the nail remover here to pull up on it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Not with this room. Nah, I just pulled it right out. Well, at least I can get a pick in there now. Start prying. Well, unfortunately, I've had to resort back to the old-fashioned way of destroy it. Keep punching holes and tapping on chisels and punches till it comes out. There we go. Okay.
All right, dude. Gotta read the numbers on it. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about numbers. Oh, there they are right there. Looks like they're pretty much hard to read anyways. Looks like a National 41589. Oh, that last one. 3. Maybe. Let's see if that compares to the new one I have. Totally different number. Are they the same? Yeah, it looks right. Looks like the numbers are on the outside and the little spring retainers on the inside. Found this massive socket so we can give a, let's see. Perfect. Oh yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Now for this unit, there we go. Put a little bit of blue Loctite on it just to be safe. Okay, new yoke. I've got it all greased so it'll slide. There we go. Beautiful. Wonderful. That looks good. Oh yeah. Nice. So, I was unable to track down any universals. Kind of an oddball. Napa wanted almost $700 per universal joint. The ones that were in there weren't that bad. A little bit of roughness on one cap that as it turned, it wasn't much, it was a little bit. So I cleaned them up. No, I didn't take apart the needle bearings, but I cleaned up the unit and I ground down some edges so we can get a grease zerk in there better this time. And I'm gonna grease them up really good when I get them in here until grease comes out everywhere. I'm just gonna run it. I think it'll be fine. They look good. So I hope it doesn't come apart. Don't make me regret this decision. I don't know if I should have turned them. What I need to do, I probably need to use this. Shove. Okay. I need to tighten this up and see if I can get it to pull itself in. Okay. Nothing like a quarter turn at a time. Yes, that end doesn't fit on it, which means a ratchet wrench won't fit on it, which means a socket won't fit on it, which means I have to use this. There's only 8 of them, just quarter turn at a time. You know, just stiff enough that my fingers can't do it. Okay, it's together. I marked the grease zerk that I can get is that one there, and I flip it over and the one on the other side. So let's pump her full of grease. I just found out I can't grease it with the bolt in, so I got to take out 2 bolts and put them back in, 1/4 inch at a time, or quarter turn. Here, taking grease. Oh yeah, get that grease in there. Just fill them full. Fill those caps full, full, full. I'm just starting to see it coming out. There we go. I don't care if it makes a mess. Well, I guess a little bit came out. I found an O-ring that was a little bit bigger diameter. I'm gonna try it. I don't know, I got a feeling it's not gonna work. Okay, very oily. I wanted to wash this down, but I didn't want to wash it down with the covers or caps on it. There we go. Not a lot of room for my legs in here. Could be worse, could be a cap that doesn't tilt back. I think that'll work great. Okay. There. So as it turns out, we do have a case drain on these pumps. So that's good. There we go. Okay. We're all greased. All the lines are hooked up. I guess all we gotta do is drop the cab, fire it up, and see if we have any leaks. Or start it with the cab up and see if we have any leaks. Tomorrow.